Okay, great. Well, once again, it's a pleasure to connect with everybody here. As you know, I'm based in Santa Clara, here in the Bay Area of California, also known as Silicon Valley, and we've got representatives from all over the globe here on the call today. We'll be introducing all of you shortly. So the goal of this webinar is to really kick things off for GSBI Online. As you know, you're all in the cohort and it's 6 months long. And so after this webinar, you should have enough information to be able to successfully move forward into GSBI Online, and you will also be connected with your mentors and be able to have that first call and access all of the content and curriculum. And just again, a few logistics. So everyone should be on mute. And we've got a few of my colleagues on the line right now. We've got Cassandra Staff, who is our COO, and she'll be helping to monitor some of the Q&A. So we do have a Q&A at the end of the call, so we've got time scheduled to answer any of your questions. But in the meantime, if you do have a question, feel free to put that in the little chat box, which is in the corner of your window. So Cassandra's on the line and she'll be monitoring those questions as we go along. So she'll either, collect them all and save them for the end, or if it's appropriate, she'll answer them as needed. And I see we also have my other colleague, Alex Lamberis, who is our Mentor Network Director. And so he's also available to answer some questions at the end. And I believe a few more of my colleagues will be joining as well. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen and we'll start playing the slides. Oh, and one more thing, I am recording this call. So for those of you that are unable to join, they know who they are. I will be sharing this slide deck and this audio with all of you. And of course, you're able to come back and listen to this and watch the slides so you can further digest all the material, because I realize we will be sharing quite a bit of information with you. So just to let you know that that's available for all of you. Okay, so sharing. Okay, can you see that? Great, yeah. Perfect. So here is our Miller Center for Social Entrepreneurship logo. As you know, this is the kickoff, and here is the agenda. Let's see here. Just in case you need batteries here. Thank you, perfect. So this is the agenda for today's webinar. So first we're going to talk about Miller Center and give an overview of GSBI, and also be introducing the cohort. So all of you lovely folks that are on the call today. And I'll also be going through what we call a GSBI journey. So talking about the curriculum, the great mentoring that you'll receive, the value exchange. So what we expect from you as social entrepreneurs and what you can expect from us at GSBI, the platforms that you'll be using to communicate with your mentors, to communicate with us, the GSBI staff, and of course, to access all of the content and the curriculum to help you navigate the content that we provide here. And then I'll be talking about immediate next steps. So what you need to successfully move forward into accessing the content. And then we'll have some time for Q&A. So if you have any burning questions that need to be answered, we're here to answer those. So what is our mission? Our mission here at Miller Center is to accelerate entrepreneurship to end global poverty and protect the planet. A general overview. So as you know, we're based here at Santa Clara University, which is in the heart of Silicon Valley. The GSBI is the program that we specifically run that supports social entrepreneurs, or SEs, that are developing innovative solutions to the problems of poverty. And we do this by supporting entrepreneurs at every stage of their life cycle, and that's through in-depth mentoring and instruction in best practices. And this is all offered at no cost to the entrepreneur. So here at Santa Clara, we've got a number of support systems that we use to provide our entrepreneurs that we work with the most support and resources that we can. So right now we're doing that explicitly through GSBI and the mentorship that we provide. And so we also have the Impact Capital, which is working directly with impact investors. And we also work with students here at Santa Clara through our education and action research. And that's to help the students apply their knowledge and their skill set directly to the entrepreneurs here through GSBI. And we've also got our GSBI network. And so we work with a lot of other accelerators and incubators and universities throughout the world that are using similar curriculum and methodology. And so we call that the GSBI network. And they're basically adding local expertise to the entrepreneurs that they're working with. And we also have our Frugal Innovation Lab, which is operating out of the engineering school here on campus. And that's where the students are providing technology skills and support to the entrepreneurs. And then finally, we've got our Entrepreneur Law Clinic operating out of the law school here. And that's a way for the law students to directly provide support to the entrepreneurs who are domiciled here in the US. And that's, of course, providing legal support. So our impact model. Our impact model is executive mentorship combined with structured curriculum. And that's really at the core of what we do here with our programs, both with GSBI Online and Accelerator. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about our framework here and what guides us in looking to achieve sustainable growth and sustainability. So there are really 4 components here to achieving that. And the first is the impact model. So the impact model is quantifiable for investors and showing the value that is being added to the beneficiary or the customer of the social enterprise. The second is this business model here, and that's really showing the economies of scaling impact. And we've also got scalable operations, so that's bringing a lot of efficiencies and infrastructure to the business. And then finally, investment readiness. So understanding what the components are that enable an enterprise to grow and to know how much capital is needed in what form and how to deploy that capital and really what the return on investment is for investors. So these 4 constituents are what really drive the content that we deliver here at GSBI. So here now is a diagram that shows the life cycle of a social entrepreneur. And I want to emphasize that the emphasis of which of those 4 pillars that we work with really depends on what stage of development that the enterprise is operating at. So this diagram is called Blueprint to Scale, and we borrowed it from the Monitor Group's 2012 study, Blueprint to Scale, the case for philanthropy and impact investing. And underneath that, you can see the 3 programs that we at GSBI currently operate. And each of these programs is customized to address the needs of a social enterprise in a particular stage of their development. So further, you can see these 3 programs that we do offer. So we've got first Boost, which outlines the business and helps develop a business model for enterprises. And then we've got Online, which is the program that you're all participating in for the next 6 months. And that's really to help create a business plan and to test business assumptions. And then we've also got our Accelerator program. And that's to help businesses that are a bit more advanced and really preparing them to scale for a significant amount of investment. And all this is guided through executive mentoring and structured curriculum, going back to our impact model. And then we also use this framework that helps us identify different milestones that are associated with each of these stages. And we do an assessment based on that to try to further refine our curriculum to best support the needs of the individual businesses that are going through our program. So while each of them is designed to focus on a specific stage of development, we realize that not one size fits all, and we do our best to provide any sort of customization that we can to make the program as effective as possible for all of you and all of the entrepreneurs that have gone through our program. So this shows more in depth how we help social entrepreneurs scale through our programs. This shows specifically some of our impact metrics that we're very proud of. As you can see on the left, we've got a number of programs and activities that we offer at Miller Center. We've got GSBF here at the top, which is our fellowship program where we work with students. And then you can see the GSBI programs, Accelerator, Boost, Online. The network is for our accelerator and incubator partners. Exchange is where we it's what we use to help deliver the program content. And then you can see some of our experiments at the bottom. So we've done different customization and special programs with General Electric and NBI. And then we've got replication. So partnering with different members in the ecosystem that can help us replicate the work that we're doing here. And so we've worked with over 690 social entrepreneurs over the last 13 years. And 75 fellows over the last 3 years. Those entrepreneurs have raised $148 million with a positive impact of 237 million lives. But I would say the impact metric that we're probably the most proud of is that 100% of our graduates would recommend GSBI programs to other social entrepreneurs. So, we can scale our programs, we can work with more entrepreneurs, but what really matters is that our entrepreneurs find our programs a good use of their time. They would refer other people. They would do this program again. And that continues to be the case for both Accelerator and Online. And that's really crucial and that's really important to us. And just to emphasize, we're constantly gathering feedback from our entrepreneurs. That's really paramount to everything that we do here. So please do feel free to reach out to myself at any time if there's something that I can do or my teammates can do to help better support you. That's why we're all here. That's why we come to work. So please feel free to reach out at any point. And so here is some of our great team members. At the top, we've got Alex Limberis, who's also on the call right now. He is our GSBI Mentor Network Director. He helps manage over 150 executive mentors. And then we've got Alex Pan, who works with our alumni, so all of the entrepreneurs that have gone through our program. And we've got more than 600 alumni now. So he helps manage them and helps support them as they continue to grow and expand their impact. And then we've got Andy Lieberman. So he works on a lot of new initiatives and content and curriculum and really focuses on integrating all of the curricular innovations that we work on in a logical way and then distributing that back to the entrepreneurs as well as the mentors. And then we've also got Cassandra Staff, who's here on the call. She's our trusty and mighty and fearless leader here. She's our COO. She's been here at Miller Center and GSBI since 2010, worked with so many entrepreneurs, and she also heads up our Accelerator program. And then myself, Karen Rundy, I'm one of the online program managers. This will be the 4th online cohort that I'm lucky enough to manage and continue to be inspired by all the work that everyone does here, not just at Miller Center, but of course, all of the entrepreneurs. And of course, we've got Marie Haller. She's our other online program manager. She's currently running a program now, and she also manages one of our custom cohorts, partnering with General Electric. It's called our Healthy Mother and Child program, specifically working on enterprises operating in sub-Saharan Africa. So here is the cohort. This is all of you. Here's some of your logos. We'll be doing some social media blasts promoting all of you shortly. You can visit our homepage where you can learn more about each one of you. And more specifically, here are the sectors and the geographies that all of you are based in. We've got such a diverse array of location and areas that you're all working on. We've got many enterprises operating across Africa, Uganda, Kenya, Senegal. We've got a number in India and Bangladesh, Nicaragua, and we also have an entrepreneur who's operating locally here in California, actually in our own backyard in Palo Alto. So that's really exciting. So let's talk about your journey here over the next 6 months. First off is the big picture. So going back to that blueprint to scale model that I showed at the beginning, the goal here is to really get all of you to validate your business model so that by the end of the 6 months, you can validate and check your business model. What's the roadmap? So how are you going to get to that big picture? So I'll be talking a little bit about the schedule that you'll be working through, the modules, the curriculum, and the deliverables associated with all of those modules. And so who's going to help you go through that roadmap? Your guide. So I'll be talking also about the mentoring relationship, the great people that we have in our mentor network, and who you'll be working with specifically. And then finally, a value exchange. So talking about what to expect from GSBI, and then, of course, what we expect from all of you. So going back to that big picture, so how do we do that? So we've got these 4 main outputs here. So the first is a growth plan. And so what that means is that we'll help you really understand how your business can scale in the next 2 to 5 years. And then we've got a financial model. So that's helping you understand really the details of your business and how your enterprise can make a profit. And then we've also got this funding plan and marketing materials. So developing a funding plan to help you develop a financial ask and, understanding what your justifiable ask is and creating these marketing materials so that you can confidently approach investors. And then also we've got a stage assessment plan. So that's the tool that we've developed here at GSBI, and that's to help all of you create an action plan to how to get to that next stage in your business. And this is all, again, guided through mentorship. So these outputs are further broken down into a modular schedule. There's 8 of them, as you can see. And the dates for this specific cohort are up here as well. And you'll notice that there's a 3-week sort of buffer between each module. And so the final module really culminates with a final presentation, which will happen at the end of October. And I'll talk more in depth about that shortly. But that will essentially be a 12-minute presentation that you'll do remotely through Zoom. And I just want to add that, we've got these 8 modules, but they should really, of course, the content and curriculum is important, but what they should really serve as a baseline for you and your mentor to have an engaging dialogue and to really understand, what are the pinch points, what are the pain points of my business, and how can I approach that, how can I remedy that? So this should be a real conversation starter to help you get to the root of what you want to solve within your business. So throughout the 8 modules, you'll notice these fictitious enterprises pop up. And these serve as real enterprises that we've worked with, and they provide sort of a sample of what a deliverable looks like. So as you go through each of the modules, there's a deliverable that you'll work through that you will apply specifically to your own content, so to your own enterprise. So these 2 enterprises are called Skills Tank and KDA, or Canopia Development Association. And you'll notice that they'll pop up throughout each of the modules. So a little bit more about mentors. Our mentors are really high caliber individuals who you should consider as trusted advisors. You can see that we've got sort of different levels of mentorship here. For the most part, all of you will work with either a lead or an executive mentor, as well as a co-mentor or an associate mentor or a mentor in training. And so, all of these mentors are really great people. They're vetted by a pretty rigorous academic review of their resumes, and that's managed by Alex Limberis, who's our mentor network director, who was also a mentor himself before he joined our team. And they're here to help guide you and to really ask the right questions. So they may not understand the specific context of your business or the geography, but what's common about all of them is that they can ask the right questions to help you really think deeper, to think more innovatively about your business. And so when I sent out those acceptance letters to all of you, you also received a copy of what we call our mentor commitments. And that further outlines the values that we here at GSBI find important to create a really symbiotic and a really successful experience for our entrepreneurs that go through GSBI. So of course, obviously all of our mentors are, the majority of them are Silicon Valley based, high executive level folks, men and women. But what we really find important is that, they've got these traits. So they're humble, they express humanity, they'll be respectful, they'll inspire you, they'll be able to really have a great dialogue with you. So not just talking to you, but also actively listening to you. And so we find that that's very, very important. And that's the best way to create a trusted and valued relationship with your mentor. So a little more about the workflow. So as I said, there's 8 modules with a 3-week buffer in between each module. And we find that entrepreneurs who work through this workflow on the diagram have the most, one of the most sort of exciting and enriching experiences as they go through online. So essentially it'll work as such that you, the entrepreneur, will access the module content and the curriculum on the online platform. There'll be a deliverable associated with that module. You'll complete a draft of that and submit that for your mentors to review, who will then comment and provide feedback and help you have a dialogue to help refine it. And so then you'll take that feedback, refine it, add the comments, and then resubmit the deliverable. And then the mentor will then approve that and say, yep, you're ready to go. Let's move on to the next module in the series. And in addition to accessing the module content, in terms of receiving that feedback, we highly recommend that you do that with a weekly check-in. So we find that right from the start, setting a weekly standing time for you to communicate with your mentor makes for such a successful experience in online. So saying, for example, Tuesday at 8 a.m., this is when we'll have our standing call on Zoom, and just keep that as your weekly check-in. And in terms of a time commitment, that's a question we often get. Between a couple hours a week tends to be about the norm to efficiently, read the content, review it, digest the videos that are also a part of the modules, looking at samples, and then completing your own deliverable that's applicable to your business. So how do we track all of that? So my colleague Marie and myself, and of course Cassandra, we use what we call a tracking dashboard. It's a very fancy diagram, as you can see. This will be available on the homepage of your online platform, and this is really a way for us to see the progress that you're making with your mentors as you go through the module series. So this is an example of a template from Accelerator. You can see the enterprises on the left, and so green indicates that you've submitted your deliverable, your mentor approves it, and you've moved on. Yellow indicates that you're, working through the module at the moment. Perhaps you're integrating feedback. And then red indicates that perhaps you're falling a little bit behind, or that nothing has been submitted yet. So this is just a way for us to gauge, how things are going, how you can see how others are also working through the program as well. And so at the end of the 6 months, the end of October, you'll be making this 12-minute presentation, and that's in front of a group of panelists that we take our time to recruit. So for example, this last online cohort that graduated, we had a wonderful panel of some of our executive mentors. We also had a couple of venture capitalists on the line, some faculty occasionally from Santa Clara University join. And it's really a great opportunity for you, the entrepreneur, to put together all that you've learned, all those deliverables that you've submitted over the last 6 months, and put that into a really cohesive, efficient, clear, logical presentation. And that defines, what your mission is, what your ask is, how you're going to apply that, what your milestones are, and how you plan to continue to grow and scale. And so I encourage you to take a look at some of our previous presentations from our alumni. They're all available on our Miller Center YouTube channel. I will be sharing the slide deck afterwards, and all of the links here will be hot, so you can just go ahead and click into the link, and that'll take you right to the homepage of, or the Miller Center YouTube page. And so right now we've got Cohort 9, which literally just graduated a couple months ago, and then we've got Cohort 7, which completed the program last summer. And I find that you'll really find them quite inspiring. So take a look at those, and you can further see what I'm talking about here. So here's an example of a GSBI alum who went through our program. This is Impress Technologies. They were a part of Cohort 7, so the cohort that graduated last summer. This is Jessie Becker. She was the main participant in the program. So her enterprise basically created this medical device. You can see the apparatus being held by the two gentlemen in the photo. But essentially, it's a device that treats postpartum hemorrhaging quickly in developing areas. So when Jessie first started the program, her main sort of concern was she had this great technology. She was based actually here in California. She had this great technology, but she wasn't sure how to put together a cohesive story to investors because she really wanted to target developing regions, specifically in Africa and in India. And so we've got a great quote here saying that, you know, through the mentorship she received here, she said it forced us and helped us focus on our mission and impact and be very practical in terms of how we accomplished that. And so on the right, you can see some of her successes. So as she finished the program, actually, she was able to close a Series A equity of 1.2 million and converted all of that from high net worth, notes to equity from high net worth individuals. And she also partnered with Work for Mothers and received patent protection. So that's just really great and super inspiring, and they're continuing to grow. So in addition to the final presentation that you will be giving in October, we'll also be putting together what we call an investment profile. So this is an example of the marketing materials that you'll put together. So this really is just a great summarization of the module deliverables that you'll be working through. So this will be comprised into a booklet at the end of the cohort with all of your cohort peers, and it'll be available on our Miller Center website. And you'll also receive a copy of this in PDF format as well as InDesign, so that you can go into it yourself and continue to update it as your enterprise continues to grow. And hopefully you'll find that this will be a useful marketing piece for yourself, so that you can confidently go and continue to approach. So a little bit about the value exchange. So what you can expect from us here at GSBI and what we expect from you. So we do expect you to really, develop that relationship with your mentor. That's what's really going to drive your success here at GSBI. So make sure you have those weekly calls. Try to be on top of those deliverables as well, going through the online platform, Litmos. I'll be talking about that as well in just a moment. You'll be receiving consistent email updates from myself. So, you'll really get used to seeing my email address in your inbox. So you'll be hearing quite a bit from me. And of course, always feel free to lean on me for any questions, any resources that I can provide you. I'll make sure that it'll be in the best of my ability that I can help you in any way. And also your feedback is really important to us. So, we're constantly surveying our entrepreneurs. You'll be getting a questionnaire midway through the program as well as at the end. And as you become our alumni and graduate the program, we want to continue engaging with you as well. And in terms of what you can expect from us, of course, the mentorship is paramount and the curriculum. And any sort of customization that we can do to help really tailor it to your specifics of your business, we want to make sure that we make your experience here as optimal as possible. And providing you investor recommendations, so giving you a targeted list of prospective funders that might be very applicable to your type of business and the geography that you work in. And of course, as I said, as you go through after you graduate from our program, you'll be in our alumni network, and that's where we want to really continue engaging with you. And just to be really explicit, what GSBI does not provide is direct funding, nor do we provide introductions to investors. So let's talk about communications. So Zoom is the web conferencing tool that we here at Miller Center use. We really love it. We find that it blows Skype out of the water in terms of usability and functionality. And we have a relationship with Zoom as such that we are able to provide all of you, the entrepreneurs, accounts. So after this call, I will be sending you invites for you to set up your own Zoom account. Additionally, we are using Litmos. So Litmos is the online platform that we're piloting for the first time to access the curriculum, the templates, the videos. So after, again, this call, I will also be sending you an invite to set up your account through Litmos. And since this is the first time that we are using it, we realized that, you know, there's always a little bit of troubleshooting that happens. So we've created a video as well as a written procedure guide that we will also be sharing with you. So that will help you further navigate how to work through the platform, how to really access deliverables, how to download and upload templates. All of that will be covered in the video and the guide. So this is what the platform looks like. When you receive your invitation into Litmos, this page will pop up. And so the way it works is that you'll be put into a team. So as I said, you'll be paired up with either a lead mentor or an executive mentor, in addition to either an associate mentor or a mentor in training. So on top of that, you'll have yourself. So that'll be about a team of 3 people that comprises a team. So each one of you has a slightly different type of account within Litmos. So the lead mentor will be given what we call a team admin account, and the associate mentor and mentor in training will be given a team leader account. And you, the social entrepreneur, will be given what we call a learner account. So when you do log into Litmos, this will be the homepage that you see. It's also called the dashboard. And the 2 things that I want you to pay attention to right now are those 2 boxes in the middle. So one's called GSBI Online Cohort 11, which is your cohort. And the other one is SC Toolkit Program Overview, Examples, and Templates. So the box on the left is where you can access all of the modules, all of the videos. And then the box on the right is where you can access additional supplemental material, as well as information about the staff, supplemental resources to help you further understand the content that we provide within the modules. And also pay attention to this little news button here at the bottom. So this is where you'll be able to access your tracking dashboard. So it says tracking dashboard updated for 5/17. So that's actually a hot link. So you can just go ahead and click on that tracking dashboard, and that will take you to a new page which has a spreadsheet of that tracking dashboard, which I showed previously. So go ahead and just make sure you check that regularly. So as I said, when you click on the GSBI Online Cohort 11, this will take you to the modules. And if you click on each one of those 8 modules, that'll open up into a series of sub-modules. So that will consist of, as I said, the videos, further content, and then also a button for where you can upload your deliverable as well, which will be at the end of each one of those modules. So what does that look like? So when you upload your deliverable, your mentors who have a slightly different account version, when they log into Litmos, they'll be able to see that you've submitted your deliverable, and this box called Marking Required will pop up. And then the box on the right indicates which deliverable it is that you've uploaded. So your mentor can then go right into this and then click on that and then download your deliverable, review it, provide you with feedback. And so the lead mentor is able to give you what we call a score and percentage. And ideally, they want to give you a percentage score of 100. And so anything with less than 100 indicates that, you know, they've got some feedback for you. We need to refine your deliverable a little bit more. So ideally, we'd like to see you to wait before moving on to the next module until you've received that 100% score on the previous module. So a little bit more about resources. As I said, there's this tutorial video, which is on our YouTube channel, and I will also be sharing that with you after the webinar. And we've also got this written guide as well. So it really provides a step-by-step procedure on how to set up your account and how to access all the modules and how to upload and download deliverables. And also, we've got office hours. So my colleague Marie Haller, who's our other online program manager, and myself will be on these standing Zoom calls. So we've set them up for every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard and Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. So they'll just be about half an hour. Both mentors and entrepreneurs are welcome to hop on this call. And if you have any questions about Litmos, we'll just be here to help troubleshoot and help walk you through it. And of course, feel free to email either one of us at any time as well if you want just some more personal engagement. And we're here for you. You know, this is our job. This is what we do. We want to support you to the best of our ability, and we want to make ourselves as available as possible to you. So what are your immediate next steps? So today I will be sending out your introduction to your mentors and providing you access to Litmos as well as Zoom, and also sending out those invites to those office hours. And you, the entrepreneur, really, once you get that introduction, set up that call with your mentor, make it a standing call, be proactive about reviewing your Litmos tutorials, and then really try to jump right into Module 1. So Module 1 will be due May 19th. Again, on those modules and on the tracking dashboard, all of the due dates are there, so you can see when everything is due. And as I mentioned, there is that 3-week buffer, so you do have about 3 weeks between each module. And then just in general, as I said, I will be, flooding your inbox, hopefully not too much, but you will be receiving some pretty consistent email updates from myself, and that'll just be as a way to keep you updated on what's going on. We want to also highlight all of you. So we've got what we call a social entrepreneur spotlight. So in every bi-weekly, we're going to highlight all the great work that each one of you is doing, and also providing you updates on any relevant resources, whether that be workshops, conferences, funding opportunities, grants. We want to provide all of that information in those updates regularly. And so again, office hours, here's the Zoom link, but I'll also be sending out those calendar invites as well. And for you, just really try to stay on top of your modules and be proactive with communicating with your mentors. If you're going to be traveling or if you're going to be in an area with poor connectivity, just try to be really upfront with your mentors and say, this is what I've got going on, and we'll try to figure out the most efficient way for you to communicate. And of course, reach out to me at any point if you have questions. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to support all of you. And so that's pretty much all I got on my end. We can go ahead and open things up now to some Q&A. So let's see.
I've got a question, Karen,
yeah.
From somebody before, and then maybe after that we can tell them how to, that they need to unmute or raise their hand or something.
Okay.
So Doug asked, is the goal for the due dates to have the modules reviewed and 100% completed by that date? Or is that the target initial submission to the mentor date?
Right, so the 100% is ideally when that due date is, so at the end of the 3 weeks. So, the first time you submit a deliverable, we don't expect you to get it right, so to speak. It's an iterative process. There's always time for revision. So, try to bear that in mind. Try to work to receive that 100% score by that deliverable due date. And that's just really so that you don't fall too behind. This is a 6-month cohort. It's not a whole lot of time. And it's just really a way to help you sort of stay on track and really be ready by that end of October final presentation due date.
Great. Yeah. So I would just add on to that.
Sure.
So it does mean within that 3 weeks, you need to send the mentors your draft earlier so that there's some consensus by that deadline around moving forward. But feel free to also revisit those. So occasionally you'll get 2 modules down and maybe a light bulb goes off, or maybe some of the work that you've done for a subsequent module really benefits some summary deck or slide that you had completed previously. So feel free to revisit those throughout the program and to ask your mentors to focus on what you think the priorities for your company should be at any given moment.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really great point. Thank you for bringing that up. We realize that the work that you do with, for example, Module 1 or Module 2 at the beginning of the program might actually change by the time you get to Module 7 because you've made sort of this headway and you've made some new findings. So feel free, actually, as Cassandra said, to go back and revise and update previous modules as well.
Great. Thank you for that question, Doug. We got one more from Avital, and he asked, how is the mentored SE matching done?
So I might hand that over to Alex Lamberis, who is our Mentor Network Director. He's also on the line. Alex, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me okay now?
Oh, there you are.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the mentoring pairing is handled in really two ways. We take a look at the skill set that the mentors have from their professional careers and take a look at what we think matches best, both from what our perspectives are and from the information we get from the SC during the whole selection process. So between those two, we do our best to find mentors that are going to have the most relevant experience for your goals.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Great, thank you for the question, Avital.
So do we have any other questions? And should we?
So yeah, continue typing it in if you'd like. Alternatively, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and just ask over the line.
No questions? Answered everything you got?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Sure. Can you guys talk about some activities that you guys may lead, or how can we better learn from each other? Like, how do you encourage cohort members to engage, to learn from each other, to share ideas?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've tried a number of things over the years. So just to point this out right at the beginning, this is an online platform. So engaging with peers is a little bit different as opposed to if you were working in a program where you're directly engaging with people in real life, so to speak. So we've done things such as a Slack line. We had a WhatsApp group for a while. And we find that in the beginning, the peers are excited about that collaboration towards the beginning, but towards the end, for whatever reason, it sort of dwindles out. So, the peer-to-peer interaction, we realize, is a valuable part, although for whatever reason, it doesn't, what's the word? It just doesn't take off the way that we would like to see it take off. And I think it's just because, it is an online platform and everyone is global. But that said, we do have Alex Pan, who's our Alumni Network Manager, and his whole job is to continue engaging with the entrepreneurs once you complete the program. And one of that is also, connecting SCs that do operate in either a similar region or a sector, and kind of being sort of buddies and sharing, growing pains as well. So that's going to be a deeper focus of the work that Alex does.
Karen, was the plan to connect anyone in this cohort to someone from a previous cohort? And
so that's something we definitely talked about. If there is sort of enough, excitement around that by all of you, if that's something that everybody in this cohort would like, we can definitely make that happen. We do this with our accelerator, and we find that it was a very useful engagement for them. So You know, again, feedback is paramount here. So if that's something that you find would be helpful for you, I would be happy to help make that connection if you would like to engage with an alumni that has gone through our program.
Dennis suggested maybe a WhatsApp line or a Google group to keep in touch. We're also experimenting right now with a Facebook group with our alumni. So maybe we could take a quick poll here.
Yeah.
If you all wouldn't mind finding the chat section, which should be either on the bottom bar of your dashboard or the right bottom. But if there is a platform that you're already on that you'd be interested in connecting with other entrepreneurs in this cohort, perhaps you can just type the name of that into the chat box. Sounds like WhatsApp was one suggestion, a Google group was another suggestion, and perhaps a Facebook group might be another.
Okay.
So let's see what you all think. I see some stuff coming in here. So 2 for Facebook and 2 for WhatsApp.
Okay.
And split. Any others? 1 more for WhatsApp.
Okay.
1 more for Facebook and 1 more for WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, that's great.
Good. This is good feedback, everybody.
This is really helpful.
1 more for WhatsApp. Okay, so we'll, keep typing these in. Try to only vote once. We'll count these up after, and Karen will let you guys know what she's decided on.
Yep, that's great. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, someone, so Avital brought up a good point, which is it sort of depends on what sector or potentially what location other folks are in, and then he might want to connect. So it depends on if there's enough in common there. So that's duly noted, Avital.
Yeah.
Whenever we do try to make these matchings, we do try to establish some sort of beneficial connection that might make sense for you all. So another question is there a certification or a certificate that's received upon completion at the end of the 6 months?
Yeah, great question. So at the end of the cohort, after you give your final presentation, you will all receive a graduation folder. So that will consist of a copy of your presentation, the recorded copy, including the feedback that you received from the panelists, a copy of that 2-page investment profile, as well as the booklet. And you'll also receive a copy, or your certification rather, and that's a certificate of graduation from our program, and that's on behalf of GSBI, Miller Center, and Santa Clara University, and that's signed by our executive director, Thane Kreiner. And then you also receive an alumni logo, which we highly encourage you to place on any of your marketing materials, including your website.
Great questions, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Karen, I'm sorry, it's Cody again from South Africa.
Hey, Cody.
So I think during the application process, on our end, we found like things that that we want to continue to work on and flesh out. Do we have an opportunity to say to our mentor, hey, can we focus on doing a 6-month process? Is there going to be room for us to focus on A, B, and C? And that could be just a number of things.
Yeah, thank you, Cody, for that question. So as I said, there's those 8 modules that you work through, and we find that this is sort of a way for you to figure out what those main issues are for your specific business. And to help you kind of have that deeper dialogue and deeper engagement with your mentor to focus on the issues that are relevant for you. And we also, we realize that, again, one size does not fit all in terms of the content and the curriculum that we provide. We realize that all of you are very diverse in terms of your sector and geography. So, if you find that one module, isn't super relevant for you, that's okay. And feel free to move on to something else or moving forward onto other modules that are a bit more relevant. We really want you to work with your mentor to figure out what those pinch points are. Do you want to add it?
Yeah, so I would just emphasize what Karen said there and add a little bit that the mentors are joining the program not to go through our curriculum, but to help you. And the curriculum is just meant as a starting guide, as a place for you both to begin together and explore the possibilities. But if you already have some pain points, if you know that if you have a pressing need that you'd like to address, please highlight that and talk to your mentors about how to address those. And come back to us if you find that there is any sort of conflict between your priorities and what we've laid out for the program.
Thank you, that was awesome, thanks.
So Doug asked if we can publish that we are now in the program. Can we put this on our website?
I don't see why not. So today marked the official kickoff of your program. So yeah, it's off to the races. So please feel free to promote that. Absolutely.
And Avital is asking, he says, I love your infographics. When we do our modeling, will we be using those, or are we just working in Word or Excel? And when we get to the final presentation or final pitch, do we have any help to work on some of the slide graphics?
Mm-hmm. So on Litmos, there is a number of templates that you can use and spreadsheets that you can use to help work through the deliverable, the module deliverable content. And then regarding your final presentation, take a look at the previous alumni that have gone through the program. Take a look at their presentations. You'll find that they're all very diverse and very unique. So feel free to make that as tailored as possible and specific to your enterprise. If you do need any sort of like PowerPointing help, assistance there, do reach out to me and we can help you with some resources on how to navigate that.
Yeah, everyone's coming in at different levels of comfort with Excel, with Word, and with PowerPoint. I would say for all of those three, our team is pretty comfortable, and our students are as well. And so, as Karen mentioned, there's templates for all of the modules, and they vary in their format from PowerPoint to Word to Excel. And so you'll have a starting baseline that you can build off of. But if there's something else that you're trying to do that is out of your comfort zone, slide builds or particular graphics to illustrate a complex idea, then let us know. It's not support that we assign to everybody just because, but we can support each of you either individually or through our students if you need it. So just reach out to Karen.
Again, great question.
Okay, I have one question for Karen. And so, so today after the call, I'm the entrepreneur. Remind me again, what's happening today and what do I do next?
Great. So after this webinar ends, I have the webinar scheduled until 8:30, but we might be able to wrap up at the top of the hour. So what I'll be doing next is I'll be sending out your introductions to your mentors. So last week, our mentors were assigned to all of you, so they already know who they're mentoring, and they reviewed your application materials as well as your website. So they know, so to speak, all about you. So I'll be introducing you to them, and your task is to then set up a call with them, ideally in the next week or so, ideally this week, and really just start to get to know them, just have that fun introductory call with them, learn about their background, where they've been working, what they do in their spare time, and vice versa. We really want you to start building up that comfort and that trust with them as soon as possible, because that will really make for a successful time here in the cohort. And additionally, I will also be sending you 2 invites. So an invite to Litmos, so you can access your curriculum and the content, and then an invite to Zoom, which is the web conferencing tool. So you'll receive a free account to that. And we encourage you to use Zoom as a way for you to have your calls with your mentors. Again, I realize that connectivity can be problematic for some folks. So if Zoom doesn't work, try to find a method of communication that works best for you with your mentor, and then just be really clear about that. So whether you prefer just to communicate through email or via mobile, if that's the case, we can also find a way to get you Skype credit if you need that. So there's always options for communication. So that's your immediate first steps. And then also, as I said, we're having Zoom office hours. And so the first office hour will be this Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will also be sending you invites to that. And that'll also be on Zoom.
And those are optional. So when they receive those calendar invites, that's just if you want to check in, if you've got questions for Karen, but not required to attend.
Absolutely. So those are optional, and it's open to both the entrepreneurs as well as the mentors. And it'll just be within the first month or so after the cohort starts.
Great. Okay, a couple more questions. This is great. We got the couple more flowing in. So one question, are our mentors from our time zone? The answer is no, probably not.
Yeah. So most of our mentors are, I'd say the majority of them are based here in Silicon Valley in the Bay Area of California, so operating on Pacific Standard Time. That said, a lot of our mentors also do travel, so they could also be global. So I think it's really important also when you have that initial communication with your mentors that you're clear about your time zone. And, for folks that are, operating in India, maybe it makes sense for you to have a call after your work hours. So then that'll be like an early morning call for your mentor. So just being really clear about the time conversion right from the start, and that avoids any communication snafus moving forward.
Yeah. Another question, will all of the modules be available at once or only after they've completed the first one? Will the next one be unlocked?
Yeah, these are all really great, relevant questions. Thank you so much. So the way that the modules are laid out in Litmos, ideally they're all sort of sequential. So you've got module 1, then submodules, and ideally you would go through that before you would go on to the next module. However, they're all unlocked. So if you want, you can go and look ahead and review the subsequent modules and see what the deliverables are for that. So yes, so you can review all of them at once if you would like to.
That's right, but they do build, and so it doesn't really make sense to complete module 4 before module 1, but it is there if you want to look at it.
Precisely, yeah.
Great. So Jasper's asking, did the mentor sign anything around confidentiality of information documents technology that we're sharing?
So again, maybe I should open that up to Alex, or if you want to
I can take that, yeah, since he's muted. So we do not. So first of all, as a university-based organization at Miller Center, we have a lot of rules preventing us from signing NDAs. And similarly, because of all the trust and the relational components that are so important to the mentoring that's provided, we are also not asking our mentors to do that because they maybe have different affiliations or reasons why they wouldn't want to, and it's also sort of part of our own culture that we have here. So we do not sign NDAs. We do not ask our mentors to, and so we would say that if you have information that you are not comfortable sharing, just don't share it. If it's critical to communicating your business, and therefore by not sharing it, you're going to be compromising your ability to get benefit from the program, then let's have a discussion about it. Our hope is that as you build your relationship with your mentors, that you achieve a level of comfort and don't feel the need for some sort of non-disclosure agreement. However, if that's paramount, if your board is requiring it, and you're legally bound to keep everyone involved in your business to one of those documents, then let's talk about it. We don't have too much flexibility, but we might be able to figure something out. So if it's an issue for you, reach out to us, but I'd encourage you just to share what information you feel is relevant and that you're comfortable with.
Okay, well, these have all been really, really wonderful questions. Thank you all for asking them and flagging them. I think we might be able to wrap things up here. I realize that everyone has very busy days, so definitely do not want to hold you up any longer. But just to emphasize, I have recorded this webinar, and so you will be also receiving a copy of this as well as the slide deck. So please do feel free to go back and further digest all of this content. And like I said, Cassandra and myself and Marie and Alex, we're all here to support you. And so please don't hesitate to contact us at any point.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Reading your comments, talking to some of you. Good luck. Enjoy the program.
We'll be in touch very soon.
So I did a quick count. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 compared to like 3 Facebook. So 8 WhatsApp votes and 3 Facebook.
Interesting. Okay.